Hello students, in this section we will cover all these topics. Number 1, damped oscillations. Second, differential equation of motion of one-dimensional damped harmonic mechanical oscillator. Then we will do types of damping. We will study damped harmonic electric oscillator, and then we will find how to determine damping constants. So let us start with the damped oscillations. To understand damped oscillations and undamped oscillations, we have here two diagrams. In one diagram you will find that with the passage of time, I have taken time along x-axis and displacement along y-axis, and you will find that displacement, the height of this curve, displacement, that is maximum amplitude or amplitude, that remains constant, and such oscillators in which amplitude remain constant, that is called undamped oscillator, and such oscillations are called undamped oscillations. Whereas in some oscillators you will find that amplitude, that is maximum displacement, in every oscillation keeps on decreasing, and when this amplitude keeps on decreasing, such oscillations are called damped oscillations, and this effect is due to the presence of some frictional forces in the system, or resistive forces, viscous forces. These are the few factors which make these undamped oscillations into damped oscillations. And point to be noted here is that if we consider the frequency of damped oscillator, then frequency of damped oscillator is always less than the frequency of undamped oscillation, and we will prove it when we will study about the oscillator. Let us start with the damped oscillations of a mechanical oscillator. So oscillations, we have already seen that oscillation in which amplitude keeps on decreasing with the passage of time, they are called damped oscillations, and such oscillations can be shown by such diagram in which amplitude keeps on decreasing. So for mechanical oscillator, we consider a mass m or a block of mass m placed on a table, frictional table, and attached with the spring. When you will push this mass to certain displacement x and you will leave it, then restoring force will bring it back to mean position and it will start oscillating. But due to the presence of frictional force here between the surface of table and the mass block, the amplitude will keeps on decreasing, and that we will prove by writing differential equation of such oscillator and finding its solution. We know that in an oscillator we require a restoring force Fr, and in damping oscillator we have damping force. Damping force is always directly proportional to velocity, where x is the displacement of the oscillator, and damping force is proportional to velocity and equal to, we can write, minus r dx by dt, where minus sign shows retarding force and r is the coefficient of proportionality, where Fr is restoring force, which is directly proportional to the displacement according to Hooke's law, and we can write Fr is equal to minus Sx, where S is called spring constant, and for soft springs the value of S is small, and for hard springs value of S is large. Now according to Newton's law, we know that equation of motion may be written as F is equal to ma, where F is the total force and total forces are Fr plus Fd. If we write this force in this equation, then m into a we can write m into d2x by dt square. A is d2x by dt square here. Acceleration is equal to the total force, restoring force plus damping force. You know that restoring force we have written minus Sx, and damping force is minus r dx by dt. Again, we can take this mass to the right hand side. We can write S over m minus and minus S over mx minus r over m dx by dt. We put here S over m equal to omega naught square. Omega is the frequency or natural frequency of the oscillator, and which is without damping. This frequency is without damping. And r over m we put equal to 2p, that is constant. And by putting these two factors, this equation can be written as, this equation will become, that is, you just substitute the values here in this equation. We get d2x by dt square plus omega naught square x plus 2px dx by dt equal to 0. We take it as equation number 1, and this equation is called differential equation of damped mechanical oscillator. It is a mechanical oscillator. We have taken mass moving on the frictional surface of the table. And now we consider the equation or solution of this equation. It is linear differential equation, and its solution can be expected at x is equal to c e alpha t, where c and alpha are constants. Fine. Then we can write, now we have to put the value of x because it is solution. Solution means this expression will satisfy this equation, differential equation, and here we have to put the double differentiation of this x, and here single differentiation of x. Therefore first differentiation we can find like this, and second differentiation like this, and let us put these two values in this equation. We get alpha square from here, alpha square c e alpha t we put here, so we get this, plus omega naught square x, x means c e alpha t as it is, plus 2p, the first differentiation that we can 2p dx by dt we put like this. Now you will find that c e alpha t is common in all the three terms. We take it common, and inside we left from here alpha square, from here omega naught square, from here 2p alpha, and that is equal to 0. Now since this equation contains two terms, one term here and another term here, two factors, and result is 0, and result can be 0 only if one of them is 0. Since this factor cannot be 0, we have assumed here it is not 0. Therefore this bracket factor should be 0. Therefore we can write alpha square plus omega naught square plus 2p alpha equal to 0. So this alpha square plus omega naught square plus 2p alpha equal to 0 can be compared with quadratic equation here. This is quadratic equation in terms of alpha, and if you compare such equation, we will find here a is equal to 1, and here b is equal to 2p, and here c is equal to omega naught square. Okay, so to find the solution of this quadratic equation, we can write alpha is equal to minus b, mean here we have 2p, so minus 2p plus minus b square, mean square of this, that is 4p square, minus 4ac, mean 4a is 1, c is omega naught. So we get this factor. So since we can take this 4 common, and when it comes out of square root, we will get 2 here, and this 2 and this 2 will be common in the numerator, which will cancel with this 2, and we get only minus p plus minus p square minus omega naught square. Okay, so since we have determined the value of alpha, let us put it in the equation of solution. We have assumed, let us put alpha here, so we get ce minus p plus minus p square minus omega naught square t. This vector comes from here and multiply by this t, and it can be written in this form. We take minus p and this t separate, and remaining factor we can write here. Now here this equation, which is also the solution of the differential equation number 1, this equation has factor p minus p square minus omega square naught square, and due to this we can have 3 values. One, when p square will be greater than omega naught square. Another, when p square is almost equal to omega naught square or equal to omega naught square. Third case may be when p square is less than omega naught square. So we will take all these 3 cases. The first case, when p square is greater than omega naught square, here p is showing damping factor, that is damping force. It means damping factor is quite large than the omega naught, that is natural frequency square. So it means it is called heavily damped oscillator, or such system is also called deadbeat system, where the p square or damping factor is very high. So in this case, what we do is we take p square minus omega naught square, this factor we consider equal to q, and if you write like this, then equation 2 will become e minus pt from here, and you can write c1. This equation can be written, because there are 2 factors, we can write it in a combination of 2 linear functions. So c1 e plus qt, this we have put p square minus omega square is equal to q, so plus qt, we have taken this plus sign here, plus then second is minus sign here, c2 e minus qt. So this is third equation we consider. Now here c1 and c2 can be taken as the combination. C1 plus C2 we can write F, and C1 minus C2 we can write G. F and G are new constants. We do not know their values, but we can find their values by using this C1 plus C2, C1 minus C2 like this. If we add C1 plus C2 and C1 minus C2 like this, then C2 will cancel, and you will find that C1 factor will come out to be F plus G by 2, and similarly on subtraction we will get C2 is equal to F minus G by 2. And if we put the values of C1 and C2 in this equation, we will find that X is equal to E minus PT as it is, but in case of C1 we can write F plus G by 2 E plus QT plus C2 here, and we can write F minus G QT. Okay, and here in this case F plus G by 2 can be written as F by 2 plus Q by G by 2 and E QT plus sign plus F by 2 minus G by 2 E minus QT. Now we can collect the terms of F by 2 and G by 2. When you will collect F by 2 terms, then you will get E plus QT from here and E minus QT from here plus sign. And when you will get G terms, this term and this term, you will get G by 2 common and E plus QT minus E minus QT term. If you take this 2 under this term and this 2 under this term, then we can compare with E theta plus E minus theta by 2 is called cos hyperbolic theta, and E theta minus E minus theta by 2 is called sine hyperbolic theta. Okay, this hyperbolic theta, these two functions, hyperbolic functions, and the graph of such functions, these functions are like this, the cos function, cos hyperbolic function is like this, and sine hyperbolic function is this, and both of these are not like the oscillatory we have seen oscillatory wave, sine wave or cos wave. So these are not sine hyperbolic and cos hyperbolic are not oscillatory. So therefore, when we put these values here, it shows that the displacement will not be oscillatory. So we can write that displacement is non-oscillatory. And it shows that when in the starting, when time is 0, when there is no oscillation, then displacement will also be 0 in the starting. And when it is so, when we will put t0 and x0 in this equation, you will find x is 0, e minus pt, that is 0, e0 is 1, f cos of qt, cos qt is 1, so we'll get f plus g sine it will be 0. So it means this term is 0, this term is also 0, this is 1, so we get only f equal to 0. So from here we get f equal to 0. And if f equal to 0, then we left with at any time f, this is 0, it means we will get only this term. Therefore we can write x is equal to e minus pt g sine hyperbolic qt. And the value of this function, naturally you will find that it will increase with the sine hyperbolic function like this. That means in the starting it will increase like this, but it won't go long because damping is there. Then this damping factor will come and it will decrease exponentially from here like this. So the graph of such displacement which is non-oscillatory, that will come out to be like this. It will be this way. And if damping is high, in case of high damping, P is more, then such graph will be there, and if P is less, then such graph will be there. So two graphs with different P's are given. That means if we take this as P1 and this is as P2, then you will certainly say that at P1 is greater than P2. That means damping factor here is more, so the displacement is less. Okay. Now second case is when p square is equal to omega square. P square is equal to omega naught square. In this case, when we'll take p square minus omega naught square, it will be equal to 0 because they are equal. And if it is 0, then naturally e p square minus omega naught square, it is 0, so e0 is equal to 1. And if it is 1, then displacement will come out to be only c e minus pt. But our differential equation is demanding, because we have their velocity factor and displacement vector. So in the solution, some velocity factor should also be there. And therefore the solution must be like this, in which A should be having a dimension of length and B should be having dimension of velocity. And to find such solution, we cannot take p square exactly equal to omega naught square. Therefore we consider that p square is almost equal to omega naught square, and if it is so, that means then the difference will be, there will be some difference and finite difference will be there, and that small finite difference we consider as delta. And if it is delta is the small difference, then we put here delta. We find the solution will become x is equal to c e minus pt into e plus minus delta t. This delta is the small difference between p square minus omega naught square. So e plus minus delta t can be written again as the linear combination. We consider we write e minus pt, and c can be written with the linear combination as c1 e plus delta t from here plus c2 e minus delta t here. And since it is exponential and delta is very small, and when index is very small, we can expand it in terms of series. So plus series can be written as 1 plus delta t plus so on. Higher terms can be neglected. And here c2 e minus delta t, higher terms can be neglected. And solving this, C1 plus, here we will get C1 plus C1 delta t, here C2 plus minus C2 delta t. We take C1 plus C2 without t here plus delta t C1 minus C2 into t. Now put C1 plus C2 as A and delta times C1 minus C2 as B. If we put these values here, then you will find x is equal to E minus Pt A plus Bt. And such solution, I told you we need such solution here in our differential equation. Therefore, this equation is valid. And here A has the dimensions of length and B has the dimensions of velocity, because velocity is distance over time. Time will cancel. This term will also be having the same dimension as it is on the left hand side. So it shows that even this displacement is not oscillatory, because there is no sine or cos term here and only exponential term is there. And therefore when you give initial impulse to the initial motion to the oscillator, it will go up to some amplitude and then it will return to the original position, and therefore it is also non-oscillatory, and it is a exponential decay, as you can find here. Okay, now lightly damped, third case is lightly damped oscillator, where p square is less than omega naught square. And if p square is less than omega naught, then naturally this term will be negative, and anything negative under square root can be written like omega, because this is small and this is bigger term. So we write bigger term minus smaller term and we'll get negative sign here. And this negative square root may be written as iota, because you know factor that minus 1 under root, that is called iota. So this iota can be written over here like this, and the factor will become, and we take omega naught square minus p square as omega. And you can find here this omega naught is the frequency of undamped oscillator, and when you subtract something from here, then we get the frequency of damped oscillator. So it shows the frequency of damped oscillator is less than the frequency of undamped oscillator. So we can write like this, that the frequency of damped oscillator is less than frequency of undamped oscillation. So now what we can write here is, we can say displacement will be, now that is solution of the equation, differential equation will be E minus Pt. We write down again linear combination of this C. So plus omega t, we take this omega here, plus C1 E plus iota omega t plus C2 E minus iota omega t. Okay, plus equal to, it gives you equal to E minus Pt. C1 we can write E iota omega t as cos omega t plus iota sin omega t, plus C2 this E minus iota omega t we can write cos omega t minus iota sin omega t. Okay, solving this, we can take cos omega t common, we get C1 plus C2. Then we can write sin omega t common, we can write iota times C1 minus C2. Let us put this C1 plus C2 equal to A cos phi, and iota times C1 minus C2 equal to A sin phi. When you put all these values here in this equation like this, then you will find this is nothing but it is cos omega t plus phi, and this factor A we can take here, and this term is amplitude and this is the phase. And you will find here that cosine is it gives you oscillatory value, but amplitude is not constant. Amplitude is decreasing because exponential term is multiplied with the amplitude. Therefore amplitude is decreasing with the time exponentially, but the displacement is oscillatory. So both these factors can be shown as in the next diagram. You see in this diagram that the displacement is oscillatory like this, but its amplitude is continuously decreasing. You see, amplitude here, it is here this much, and in the next time period or next wave the amplitude has decreased, again amplitude is decreasing. Therefore this is the actual diagram for the damped mechanical oscillator, in which amplitude continuously decreases, and it is shown by the solution of differential equation of the mechanical damped oscillator. Now all these three cases can be shown in one figure like this, that at a particular amplitude A, if you have very heavily damped oscillator, then it will just amplitude will decay very slowly, and it will take long time to come to zero, because when it touches x-axis then it comes to mean position, and it is not coming to mean position very rapidly or quickly, so it takes long time. When it is heavily damped, it takes long time to come to mean position. And when it is critically damped oscillator, when omega naught square is equal to almost p square, then it is critically damped. It is called critically damped. It takes small time to come to mean position. When it comes to near to x-axis mean, it is coming to mean position. It takes less time to return its mean position. And when it is lightly damped, in that case, this is the case, and that can be shown in same diagram. So in the same diagram we can show all the three factors of all the three effects of damped oscillation. And that's all about the mechanical damped oscillator. And next topics will be discussed in the next video.